I'm first year student from same SATI college from CSE branch.
Okay, that is good. And Soumya?
Yes, ma'am. I'm from Electronics and Communication from the same college, SATI Vidisha.
Okay. So what is our target audience today? Is it first year?
Yeah, most of them are from first year.
Okay.
Ma'am, and how much means in how much different open source project you had completed or contributed in how many open source?
Okay, so I started contributing to open source from open source program Contributors Hack by Hacking Codes, and then I moved on to other major open source organizations like Fosacia and Anita Borg. And then I also got to in this journey only mentor other open source enthusiasts in programs like Girl Script Summer of Code, which is going on right now, and Autumn of Open Source with by ScienceScript. So that is all.
Ma'am, I'm also contributing in Girls Script Summer of Code.
Okay, in which project are you contributing?
Ma'am, right now in any of the project I just means till now that they had not allotted now. So
Yeah.
like I had contributed in Jagriti web app.
Okay. So I'm mentoring Batua. You can connect if you want.
Yes, ma'am, I will connect, definitely connect you. Ma'am, you are a mentor for that, na? Or a
Yes,
participant?
I'm a mentor in that project.
Ma'am, when they will provide the list or means scoring list something?
They are working on it. Even we don't know when will they provide. So
Ma'am,
whatever
I
you
am.
know, we know that much only.
Acha. Ma'am, I am not contributing so much. Actually, means I am just begin in the coding, and the task was so complicated that I am not able to solve. So I had done only 4 contribution till now.
That is good. That is awesome. Why are you feeling like you have not done? That is good. Uh, are you talking to mentors? Are they guiding you in that?
No, ma'am. Till now, nobody has means. I have not talked to any mentor. Means,
I'll suggest you to just be active in the Discord channel of the project you want to contribute to. And if you have any problem, any doubt, ask to mentors. How should you go about it? How should you learn that technology and all? They'll guide you.
okay, ma'am, I will do that. Actually, till now, I don't know what is the procedure. Means they are not telling the fully procedures, so I'm a bit confused about that. But I will contact to mentors.
Okay, I hope after this session some of your doubts will be resolved.
Yes, ma'am.
Vartika, we heard about open source. You are talking about open source 101. Is it something century, something like that?
Open source 101, that means everything about open source from what is open source to why we should contribute to it to um, how to go about contributing to open source. 101 means I thought of 101 to just include everything. So that is.
Right.
Ma'am, you had before you tell that Anita G contribution. Like,
Anita
ma'am,
Borg.
how Anita work? Ma'am, how we can contribute to that? And
um,
ma'am, that THI something new had launched yesterday. You know about that? The online conferences.
can you repeat? We
Ma'am, Grace Hopper
Oh,
celebration.
yeah. I got the mail yesterday only. uh, Yeah, they have launched it. We also have GHCI, that is for India only, and we also have GHC, that is for the whole world. So, yeah, Ganita Work is a very great organization for any beginner. You can definitely join that Discord channel, Slack channel, whichever they have, and it's a very good community. Whatever you can search for the projects which interests you, and then just talk to mentors, talk to people there, and search for projects, and then you can go about it. It's a
Are you
very welcoming.
participating in
Yeah,
GSC?
I'm thinking of applying to it. Uh, let's see what happens.
Mom, can I ask one more question about this only?
Yeah, yeah.
Mom, there is a session of writing a essay, not essay, just a description means answer the question. Mom, how we have to write that means so that our application must be selected or looks attractive. How we can make it?
You can follow many approaches. See, I have not written any essay kind of thing which got selected, so I'm not the right person to ask this. But whatever I know, I'll tell you. Include your personalized experiences, but not too much. Like if they're asking about, tell us about your experience with a particular thing. They're asking about only one experience, and mention only one experience. Don't write the whole story. Um, and just make it personalized. Don't copy it from the internet. That is just basic advice, because my applications haven't been accepted, the essay part, so I cannot advise you much on it.
Mom, that is so much means writing an essay. Oh, whole the application process is so simple, and essay was like the big task.
I understand. Just give your best. Sooner or later, it will be accepted.
All right, host.
So,
So shall we start? Soumya, Anamika.
Yes, sir. Yes, Pratika, ma'am, you.
okay. So I shall start. Yes, sir.
Yeah, sure. We can start our session.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Today we are going to talk about Open Source 101. That means all about open source. So before we begin it, let me first introduce myself. I'm Vartika Dadhich. I'm in my sophomore year in Rajasthan Technical University. Um, I'm currently interning at Geeks for Geeks as a technical content writer. And I started my open source journey with Contributors Hack by Hacking Codes. And then I moved on to other major open source organizations like Anita Borg and Fossacia. In this journey, I also got to mentor other open source enthusiasts in Girl Script Summer of Code and Autumn of Open Source. So let's get started. Open source. What is open source? Open source software is a type of software in which the code base is available to us under a license, which governs how we shall use it, how we shall study it, how we can modify it. Everything is governed under that license. In simpler words, for example, imagine if you wanted to learn Python and you had to rent it or buy it. It if it wasn't open sourced, so that would not have been so efficient as it is now. When you don't have to rent it or buy it, you can easily access it. And same goes for other languages or other tools which are open sourced. That is not the kind of world we want to live in. So that is the open source. We'll discuss more about it in coming slides. So let us discuss. When we have discussed what is open source, let's move on to why we should embrace open source. Open source softwares gives us quality and reliability. Since everyone from all over the world is contributing to a particular software, um, experts from all fields are contributing to it, eventually the quality and the reliability is ensured in that software. The security and stability is also good for the same reason. Adaptability and customization and freedom and flexibility. The most important part is the community. Open source softwares, open source communities, they are the best part about open source. They teach us not only technical skills, also soft skills, especially for university students, they are really the best. Let us discuss how open source function. What is the development model of open source? So this is a small representation of it. As you can see that this is an open source project which has project lead. In normal case scenarios, there are more than one project leads or maintainers who are people who review our code, merge our code, and just maintain the project. The volunteers are people like us who contribute to that particular project, and the maintainers then review our code. So if all the test cases and checks are passing, then they'll merge our code. So that is how a normal open source project functions. This is a development model of it. Then comes the most talked about and important part of open source, that why we should contribute to open source. What is the use of it? Why everyone keeps talking about it? So the first one is it gives you real world experience, especially for university students like us who don't have any industry experience of real world software development. It is really the best place where we can learn about it. It by contributing to open source, you are building a public portfolio which demonstrates your skills, your abilities, and your past experiences, all of it in a very authentic fashion. Everyone knows where you have contributed, they can all see what you have contributed. So, it is a very authentic source, and it gives you opportunity to work upon real world projects, real world problem cases, and gain experience by doing actual jobs of software development. So that is pretty cool about it. The next one is community bonding. Of course, this is really the best part about open source. It helps you meet like-minded people. Open source projects are very welcoming communities of people where people keep coming back after years to just be around, and they build camaraderie. It's a very healthy learning environment. Also in this aspect only, you get to work with people across the world on projects, and when you work upon it, you will have to explain how you do things and ask other people for help and guidance. And in this process, you find mentors which are really god in disguise. So that is and also you get to mentor others who need guidance. So this is a very important part about open source. The next one is, of course, exposure to not only new technologies which the project are using, but also to people around the world, all across the world. You get exposure to all of them, you get to work with them, you get, of course, all the technologies, all the new technologies that the project is using, you get to get hands-on experience on it. The next is, of course, it helps you improve and test your skills. How cool will it be that something that you actually made is used by so many people around the world, millions of them, and so that is how you improve your skills and test it. Uh, if you think that you know, suppose for example JavaScript, and you think that I know it pretty well, so how will you know it pretty well? Well, you can contribute and see if you know it pretty well. So that's how you test your skills. And of course, every open source contribution has a learning curve involved. So that's how you learn skills. And of course, the satisfaction of millions of users using your particular project, you solving issues, that is a very great satisfaction. So now when we have discussed why you should contribute to open source projects, I'm sure all of you will be excited to step into this open source world. Before moving on, I must tell you that if you have any doubt till now or further in future, you can always put it in the chat box. I'll make sure to answer all of them.
Vartika, there is one doubt by Nikita Sharma in chat.
Okay. Nikita, there are different kinds of licenses in which code is not visible. I don't think code is not visible is open source. the use cases can be different. For example, you cannot use it for private or what do we call that, for profit making businesses, but I think the code should be visible as far as I know. You can also read about the licenses which the open source projects have to get more idea about it. Okay, so I shall move on. Uh, yeah, so stepping into the open source world, how you should set steps into the open source world, how you should get started. So let us discuss all of it one by one. Before starting, I should tell you that open source contribution is not just about programming or coding. It can be about anything from user interface designing to graphic designing to documentation to even community bonding and stuff. But not just about programming, but here we are discussing about the programming first. Uh, so here are some prerequisites how you should get started. The first and the most important one is Git. Git is nothing but a version control system which helps users from all across the world to contribute to project efficiently. For example, I made a particular application and I made some changes in it after I built it. And due to my changes which I had made further, the application stopped working or has crashed. Now, if I have not saved the earlier version of that application, I would not be able to use it, or it will not be able to run if I have not saved the earlier version. How so? Imagine it in a broader scenario where all people from all across the world are contributing to a same project at the same time together. And if anyone makes some mistake or something, we can always go back to the previous version. So this is a short insight of how Git works. You have to learn Git to be able to contribute to any project. So, and the next one is a programming language of your choice. It can be JavaScript, Python, C++, anything. It is easier to find projects in JavaScript and Python. That doesn't mean it we don't have projects in C++. We have projects in almost everything, whichever technology you may choose. The next thing is you should have a basic to medium knowledge of your tech stack. Tech stack means it can be web development, mobile development, DevOps, machine learning, clouds, anything. Uh, how will you know that you have basic to medium knowledge? You must first you should gain the knowledge, then you should build some projects using that. You should uh, it need not to be very fancy, very big projects. You just need to know all the features. You should be confident that you know at least 30 to 40% of your tech stack, and then you can easily contribute to any project. Don't be overwhelmed and think that you don't know a particular tech stack. You can always learn on the go. You don't need to know everything at the beginning only. So, open source programs. There are various open source programs. See, open source programs, you need not to participate in open source program in order to contribute to any project or organization, but they help in terms of mentorship. For example, I tried contributing to Facebook React, but the environment there was such, it was not like Posisha or Anita Borg, where what I had experienced till now. So in this case, in this type of scenario, if you have a mentor in an open source program, he or she can guide you, not spoon feed you, but he or she can guide you how to go about, how to navigate that problem which you are facing. So this is the case where open source programs will help. Otherwise, your contribution, whether in an open source program or outside it, will make the same impact, almost same impact on your resume. So that is all. I am sharing a link of open source programs, which are from very famous ones like GSOC and Outreachy to programs like KDE and Mozilla Winter Security and everything. This link contains all the programs. Nikita is asking one more question. 1 second. All the apps that we download from Play Store for free are open source. It is not necessary. And all the apps that require in-app purchases or paid to download are not. Yes, this is the case, but the first one is not true. Uh, you can download an app from Play Store, but it can also be open source. This is totally possible. Open source is anything which the code is visible. You can use it. Volunteers like us can contribute to it. That is open source. And you can bookmark this link, and you can benefit from it. It contains all the open source programs. One more thing I wanted to tell about it is yeah, so it has all the programs like Hacktoberfest by DigitalOcean, Winter of Security by Mozilla, Google Summer of Code, Outreachy, Season of Docs, and all the list. And I'll advise you to be active on Twitter, because that is how this list is made. The developer community on Twitter is really awesome, and you get to know all the opportunities and everything, especially open source on Twitter. So that is one thing I want to tell you. Now next is how to choose an organization. When okay, you have learned a particular tech stack, you have built some projects on it, but how will you choose an organization? How will you go about it? So there is majorly two approaches which we can follow. One is a top down approach. Top down approach is something which we talked about earlier. You first learn the skills and then you choose the organization based upon those skills. Like, for example, you learn JavaScript and you thought, okay, I have learned JavaScript, I have built a few projects on it, I think I know JavaScript pretty well. So then you can move on to websites like Google Summer of Code archives or GitHub Explore section, and there you can select organizations which use JavaScript or whatever technology you have learned, and then you can after choosing the organization you can choose the project which uses that particular tech stack, and then you can go on contributing to it. The second one is the bottom up approach, where you think that this particular organization's cause really interests me, or I am really attached to it, it is close to my heart, this particular cause, like Anita Borg, it stands for diversity and inclusion. So that is very close to my heart, and I think I'll contribute to it in whatever way I can. So first you can choose the organization, and then you can see what all tech skills are required in the projects which that particular organization is using, and then you can learn those skills and contribute to the project. So these are the two approaches. There is a learning curve involved in both the approaches. Like, for example, you can't know everything about that particular project's technology tech stack. You can't know everything about it, it's not possible. So while contributing you have to just learn new stuff every time, learn while doing things. So that is how we go about it.
Vartika, which approach is better according to you?
This is not you can't say, it is different for different kinds of people. Whatever works for you is good for you.
That means first we need to learn the skills and then choose the organization that if we are fit to be a part of organization, or we just
Yes.
first be a part of organization, learn the skills and then we start contributing. You know, as if we talk about the students right now who want to contribute something, who are just in a learning phase right now, they're just learning, they don't know much about open source and all those things. So it's just a matter of discussion that they are participating in some events or activities, and yes, they are learning. They are not a part of organization right now, because just they are indulging in some competitive environment, as you have discussed right now. That here are some list of the events which are going to be happen. So that means they might be learning the skills first.
Yes, if they are learning the skills first, see, we can follow a mixture of both of the approaches also. You know some of the skills, you think that this particular organization interests you, the project interests you. It is, for example, I don't know a particular skill in a project, but it has a very interesting purpose. So I might just learn all the skills used in that project and then contribute to it. All I'm saying is don't be afraid of contributing to a project if you don't know a tech skill. You just learn while doing.
Okay.
Was that a appropriate response for your question, sir?
Yeah, Vartika, yes.
Okay, so let's move on. Before we move on, for beginners, I want to share open source appetizers link. So what? Let me first share it, and then I'll continue. Um, so this is the list of all the beginner-friendly issues, you can say, or projects which you can look into for beginners. You can see what tech stack it is using. You can also see if you know a particular tech stack, and then you can contribute to it. It's very beginner friendly, and it's good a place to start. So I think this will help you. Uh, okay, so moving on. For successful contribution to any organization, how will you go about it? There are three pillars attached to it. The first one is after you chose an organization, you joined that organization, you join that organization's Slack or Gitter or internet relay chat where all the conversation about it is happening, where all the people are active, and you join that channel. You introduce yourself like, and this, and I know so and so technology, uh, and you introduce and talk to people. You That is how you go about it. The next thing is you search for projects. Search for projects. There's a very important thing in it that you search for projects which are active, because many times major organizations are working on so many projects simultaneously that some of the projects are not active. So if you if you go about it and if you make a PR, if you start contributing to it, nobody will review your code or merge your code. That will just be a waste of hard work. So make sure that the project is active. And then when you choose the project which interests you, which matches your tech stack, and you think you look at the issues and you think that you can solve them, then you set that project up on your local system. Uh, it is important to set it up in your local system, because if you can't use a project, if you don't use a project, you will never know what issues are the users facing. So you need to look at from the user's perspective and then use that project before you contribute to it. It is very important. If you have never used TensorFlow, or you have never used Android, or you have never used Linux, how will you contribute to it? Because you've never used it. So set it up on your local system. The next step is to look for open issues. You go on GitHub and look for issues which are already listed, which are open for everyone. You try to regenerate that issue on your local system. You see, okay, this issue is listed, how I should regenerate it, how I should reproduce that issue. And then you comment under that issue that please, for the maintainer to see, that please assign it to me. If you have any doubt, like if you have any doubt that how will you solve that issue, you can also ask it in the comment section. After the maintainer has assigned you that issue for solving, you can easily make a PR. You have to fork and clone the project before, and then generate that PR. If all the test cases and checks are passing, the maintainer will merge your code. And if it is not, then he or she will just continue the chat in comment section, and eventually your code will merge. So that is how you go about it. That is all from my side. There are some general tips where I'll give you some insights, um, or the common mistakes which people do in while contributing to open source. So first of all, the as I also mentioned before, the first one is contribution is not just about programming or coding. As I told earlier, it can be anything about it can be user interface designing, graphic designing, anything. In fact, Google organizes a whole season of docs just for documentation. That is how important documentation is in open source world. So we needed abundance. The next is choose active organization, choose active projects. That is a very important tip, because your hard work will go waste if you don't choose active projects which responds. See if um, recently any issues are merged, see if maintainers are responding to other comments, see if the project is active, and then only go about contributing to it. The next thing is communicate effectively in the chat, anything Gitter or IRC. Communicate effectively. What does communicate effectively mean? Is don't look for projects, open issues, and everything, but see, don't spam. Obviously, that is basic advice. Mention, show your effort. Don't just expect uh, anyone to respond to you if you have not shown efforts to how to you are getting my point, or are you not? I'm just trying to say that just show your efforts, like I have tried this and this approach, but it is not working even now. Instead of asking something which you can easily google. Okay, so that is how you communicate effectively. The next is if you want to create an issue, if you are running into an error again and again while you are setting up your project, or while you are using that project, you are running into an error again and again, mention it properly, that how to regenerate that particular error in order to create an issue. For example, give context to it. Okay, if you want to say, if this particular button is lagging, so I have to mention it properly, that this particular button on this page is lagging, and may I solve it, or this is the issue which I'm creating, so something along these lines. Then always showcase your work in public. Don't code in your basement, in your own cocoon. Showcase your work in public. It is important in open source also, and it is important in otherwise other developer experiences also. You have to showcase your work, otherwise no one will notice you, especially if you're applying to any open source programs. That becomes really important then. Next is yeah, try solving beginner friendly issues first, because that is how you will set momentum. And for example, the links I shared up for grabs, 24 pull requests and all, you can start by those. Another advice is never DM anyone, the maintainer or any contributor. Don't DM anyone. It is frowned upon. It is not a good practice to follow unless you want to tell about some security issue. That is a whole different scenario. But you don't DM anyone. See, if you ask your doubts in a public chat, chances are many people will see it and they will respond to you quickly. You will get your doubt resolved more quickly as compared to when you DM someone. So that is just don't be rude and be patient. Don't spam. Another tip which I want to give is do your homework beforehand. One who asks questions is appear foolish for 5 minutes, but the one who doesn't remain fool forever. So it's okay to ask things. It's okay to not know things, but just make sure that you have tried before asking anything. So that is all. Be patient and communicate effectively. And remember, once again, that open source is a beautiful journey where we stand on the shoulders of those who started before us. So, your contribution has a lasting impact on people and technology, on organizations. So, act responsibly and lay a strong foundation for the future. And remember, it's not a voyage, it's a voyage, not a sprint. It's not about competition but collaboration. So that is all. If you have any doubts, please put it in the chat section.
Students, if you're having any doubts, please ask. You can unmute yourself
You
and
can, yeah,
ask.
yeah, you can unmute yourself.
Vartika, the websites which you have mentioned here, the students can create their profile and they can find the problems mentioned on these websites, and they can contribute.
Yes, they can contribute to the. You have to just make a GitHub account, and
Okay.
then you are good to go.
Okay. There are certain other websites, for example, Open Source Friday, first timers only. They are different from GitHub or same?
They just contain issues which are good for first timers, or beginner friendly issues. You need to create GitHub account in order to contribute. It is a necessity. You need to know Git and GitHub.
Okay.
These are just links to those websites, to those issues which you can. It's a good issue to just begin contribution.
Okay, Vartika, if we just ask the students that they need to prepare a project, for example, minor or major projects, and
Yeah.
the student usually come up with some topics, means old topics, basically, I just say not interesting or something. As you said that those topics which are not active, please look for the topics which are active. But usually students used to just pick up the topics which are, for example, I just also dealing with some projects in my subject. Students are having topic like alumni database, or something about library management, or college management.
Yeah.
What I feel is these those topics are outdated topics, or there might be not much more work is being doing on that, or it should be good for the students to create a GitHub community, and then they must look for what exactly the people are doing, where are the problems, where are the issues, and then they must come up with the projects, or it's okay that they are having some topic and they just prepare a project on it.
Okay, so what you are saying is students are making projects on outdated topics using
Yeah,
outdated
yeah, obviously, yes.
technologies, like
First of
what.
all, first of all, I just want to say they don't have any idea. Let me tell you the clear thing. First of all,
Mhm.
students say, "Sir, किस पर बना सकते हैं? क्या कर
Huh.
सकते हैं?" So I said, you can search about where are the problems exist.
Yeah.
That's what I suggest. You must go and please search where are the problems exist, and do a survey on those problems, and then you just come up with a solution.
Yes. Um so yeah, that is very good approach. What I'll also suggest is just see what other people. Just be active everywhere on LinkedIn, on Twitter. See what others are making. See what technologies are trending. If you make a project on PHP or something now, maybe it will help you in learning technology, but it will not help you in growing because that is not used now. So see what other people are making. Just be active. And what sir said, that don't make projects which are repeated very often, because that will not show your creativity. Or if you want to make projects like these hotel management or something, uh, be creative about it. Do something new which shows your uniqueness in that. um, and sir, what you mentioned about GitHub community and all, that is a very good idea. uh, you The link which I also shared, GitHub Explore, that is a very good section to just explore what all is happening on GitHub, and what kind of projects they are using. What uh, and the thing which I was mentioning was that in order to contribute to open source, you first need to make projects. That doesn't mean that you need to make fancy projects, very big projects, something. You just need to make simple projects, just to ensure that you know your stuff. You know that particular technology. That's it. And then you can, for example, in order to contribute to Flutter, you need to make project on Flutter. Otherwise, how will you know that you know Flutter? So make projects on the technology which you want to contribute to. When you have used it in real life, then you can contribute to that particular organization. And it's a good idea to make clubs, like Geeksy is one of them. So that will help you in just remaining updated about what all is happening, what projects others are making. And what all is going on in open source world. So that is a good way.
Absolutely. Thanks, Vartika, for that suggestion, and definitely it will make the students to understand that they need to be updated about the current issues, and they will only be get being updated that once, if I just been called the expert. For example, today we just called you, Artika. You have shared your presentation. You have shared your thoughts, points. So when they will be the part of this community, this particular program, so definitely they will get to know about the issues what are existing in the world. Okay,
Yes.
so definitely they can work on that. And if they are not been a part of any of the community, and then if the students try to find out, yeah, where is the problem, कहाँ से लेकर आए, क्या करें, so definitely that's an issue. Okay,
Yes.
all right. Students, do you have any questions? You're sure to ask her.
Yeah, good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Rhythm.
Ma'am, like yesterday, I have visited an in Opoi app in which we have that you have said that open source refers to something people can modify and share things, right? Hello,
Yeah, in some cases, yeah.
ma'am. Like you have tell us that open source refers to something people can modify and share. Ma'am, last day means yesterday I have visited an app, Opoi app, in
Mhm.
which I found there many bugs are there. Like while starting an app, it would close rapidly, and like if we log into the means if I log into this app and it will take more time to open it, then it
Okay.
is a best example of open source.
Okay. Is Opoi app open source, Rhythm?
Ma'am, I'm not asking this Opoi app. I'm asking this. It is an example of big this open source.
I what I understood from your question, Rhythm, is you tried using Opoi app and you found some issues, bugs related to it, like it was lagging or something. You found some issues, and you are
Yes,
asking
ma'am.
if you want to contribute you want to contribute to that Opoi app, right?
Yeah,
You want to solve those issues.
yeah.
Okay, so I have not heard about this app. If it is open source, you can definitely go about it. If you can find it on GitHub, if you can find it on GitHub or GitLab, if it is open source, you can go create issues and then solve them.
Ma'am, it is open source,
It is
which
open
we
source.
can modify. Yeah,
Okay, yes, then you can definitely go about it. Go to that section where it is on GitHub and create issue. Whatever issue you are finding in that app now, like it
yeah.
is lagging, whatever you are finding, just describe that issue, describe the bug which you found, and raise that issue. The maintainer will merge it if he or she finds it appropriate, and then you can go about solving that issue.
Ma'am, I make a chart and found 20 bucks are there in this app
Okay.
while starting and opening and closing. I found 20 bucks are there in it.
Okay,
Ma'am,
then
it is an example of open source. Like
ye-
people can modify and share these things.
yes, yes. So whatever you made the list, the 20 bucks that you found, you just
Yeah.
go and raise those issues on the GitHub.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, and you can all of you can also contact me on LinkedIn or Twitter. If let me share my handle. Uh, After this session, also, matlab, if you have any other doubts later on. So till then, are there any other doubts?
Samya, Anamika.
Yes, sir.
Any doubts from your side?
Ma'am, how we can contribute to Hacktoberfest? Is what is its procedure, full procedure?
Okay, Hacktoberfest is organized by DigitalOcean. So what you have to do in that is you don't have to contribute to any particular organization or something. You can contribute to anything, anywhere. You can even contribute to your own repository by generating a PR. Uh, Everything is valid. You just need to make 4 pull requests, and if you are one of the first 75,000 contributors to complete 4 pull requests which are merged, and then you get swags and all. But it is advised to contribute to open source organizations, major open source organizations, rather than contributing to your own repository or friend's repository. uh, so that is Hacktoberfest.
Ma'am, through GitHub only we have to means we can
Yes.
contribute, or any Discord group is also there.
No, no, no. You have to contribute through GitHub only. The Hacktoberfest website get linked to your GitHub account, and whenever you generate a PR, it counts.
Okay, ma'am.
So, does anyone want to ask
All
anything
right.
else?
Yeah. Any more doubts, students? Okay. I guess there are no more doubts. So thanks a lot, Vartika, for having a good presentation on open
Thank
source
you.
101, and you have discussed about the basic knowledge about what a student must have about the open source, what's the working model, and how to contribute or share some good websites here that will be helpful for the students to explore. They must first explore these websites, what's present in there, how can they work on it, and it will really help them to explore much more ideas about the open source thing. And definitely they should be a part of some community, so they can first learn, as you have also told about the approaches, that is the top down bottom up approach. And yes, definitely the students should go according to that and learn.
Yes, thank you for inviting me, sir. It was
uh,
a pleasure talking to you all, and they were very insightful questions.
yeah, of course. Samya and Amika, you can sum up the session. You can for the last words to Vartika.
Thanks, Vartika ma'am, for an amazing session. I learned a lot from you, and we all learned a lot. Means open source. Really, we don't know anything before. Means we don't know anything before, so much before your sessions. Like the links that you said is very helpful, and I will. Uh, it helps me a lot. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, we previously we had a session on open source, and yeah, in this session we are including some more things. It's a different thing, and definitely it will help a lot to the students. Thanks, Vartika, again.
Thank you, all of you.
Okay, thank you, students, for joining this session, and have a good day. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Vartika, again.
Thank you. And
Thank
one
you,
more
sir.
thing,
Thank you, ma'am.
Soumya, you can contact me on LinkedIn if you have any doubts. Okay.
Samya.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks,
Yeah, ma'am,
Vartika.
I'll contact you on LinkedIn because I'm just a very beginner in that, so I have a lot of confusion, and maybe I'll be more free to you when I'll talk to you personally.
Okay, awesome.
Okay. All right, Vartika. Thanks all for joining this session.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.